Did you guys share the link with people?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody, we're live. Welcome everybody to tonight's hangout. It is what it is. It's just a hangout. We're going to sit here and chat about some things about Ingresso. We've got Dwayne Golden here, the CEO of Ingresso, and this is kind of tagged as Alfredo's hangout here. So I'm gonna hand it off to Alfredo, and let's kick this thing off.
All right, cool, man. Thanks, Mike. So yeah, tonight I just wanted to do something a little different. A lot of things are going on, and I'm pretty much the point of this is that this is my full-time thing, and I could imagine there's a lot of people here that this is their full-time gig as well. And with a lot of unfortunate things going on in this industry, it disturbs me because I know deep inside I have something good going on here. I know that on this panel we have a bunch of good people on, and we have a great company that we represent. And it's a shame that when things are going sour, in the industry, like Dwayne had mentioned before, it gives us a black eye. And now we have to fight for what's right, and we have to fight and prove to people that we're not one of these, unfortunate companies or people or leaders, that are trying to do bad by the people. Like me personally, I'm not trying to screw nobody over. I want people's success as much as I want my own. Sometimes people don't want their own success, but that's their problem. They have something within themselves that they have to fix, which takes time. But the point is that I want to educate the viewers. I want to educate my team. I want to educate the people that are watching as guests, and be like a free open hangout where it's not so much company based. We're here as people. Regardless of whether we're in Ingresso Cybernetico or we were another company, we're still here as regular human beings, and we have one objective in this world is to have a better life. So we want to educate the people and have them understand why it is very important that when you are taking one of these opportunities serious, to do your due diligence, figure out what's right or wrong, figure out if these companies are worth your time. Because listen, at the other side of the coin, there's people that quit their jobs to take these things to the next level. And what happens one day when you're being told, listen, quit your job, forget your 9-to-5 income, join an opportunity, have a chance to make money and change your life, and then next thing you know, the company's gone. Now what? It's the same scenario as if you're working your whole life, and all of a sudden you make it all the way up to one of these big shots, directors, and all these things, and then next thing you know, you get cut, and you don't know what to do. 10, 20 years you're in the company, all of a sudden they decide a new CEO comes and decides, listen, we're paying these people too much. We need to cut the costs. And you know what? I'm using a real example. I know exactly where I'm coming from. This happened in my corporate job. Luckily, I was not one of those people up there, so I don't got to worry about it because we're the little henchmen. They need us. We're the ones that make the business go around, so they ain't going to fire us. So, the big guys on top, the ones that dedicated their whole lives, their whole family, got on trips, got bonuses, whatever the case was, put their whole lives into these businesses. I'm talking about corporate, not business opportunity. 10, 15, 20 years, they don't know nothing else but this business. All of a sudden, a new CEO comes and says, well, we have to cut costs, so you have to go. And then they put some of these young people to come and take over their position for half the salary. Now these people go home and they don't know, like, what do you tell your family? What do you tell your children? What do you tell? It's sad, but it happens. So it happens, in a different sense in the business opportunity world. So we want to educate you to understand how to avoid certain pitfalls, how to avoid these things from happening in your life, because at the same time you quit your job, you're not going back. Some people burn their bridges, and I tell people, don't burn your bridges. If you're going to quit your job, at least, do it in a nice way, give them a 2-week notice, say, hey, I'm going a different direction. Don't go over there and be like, yo, F you, I'm out of here, I'm making $10,000 a month. 2 weeks later, the company's gone, and you don't know what to do. And that's happening right now. There's a lot of companies. I mean, it's been pretty ugly. This year and the last year has been very, very ugly. We're not here to talk about specific companies and names. You guys can figure out what's going on. We're not blinded. You know exactly what's going on. But we want to assure the visitors and the people from our own team that we're not like that. We're here to stay. And we're going to give you some reasons why. And that's why I had Mr. Dwayne Golden come out, because as a CEO of the company, he would know best in what's in the future of this company to give you reassurance that you're doing the right thing by joining us today. If you're not part of this company and you decide to join us by the end of the night, we want you to know and sleep well and understand that you made a good decision, because we're here to win. Coming from me, Alfredo, I'm one of the top earners in the company. I started out just like you did. I started out just like everybody else. I whipped out my card. I started out. I actually just started with $50 just to see what this company was about, and look where I'm at today in just a short 4 to 5 months. And I'm extremely happy. My whole life has completely changed, and I met some very, very great people along the way, especially the people on this panel. So we want to reassure that when you make the decision tonight to join, if you haven't joined us yet, that you're making a good, wise decision. If not, that's fine. At least leave with the education and understand what to look for when you're joining an opportunity, because especially me, being the Facebook guy, I see it all day long. I see this just came out. This pre-launch is here. Join us now. 50 million people are joining every minute. Everybody joins for free, and then when it's time to pay, nobody pays. It's ugly. And then these CEOs, they don't know what they're doing. They're just chasing the next thing. And let me tell you something. There's a company, there's a compensation, but there's also the leadership. The leadership plays a bigger role than anything you could imagine. All right, we can put together a nice compensation. We could give you a beautiful product. We can have the beautiful looking website with people dancing all over the stuff. But if the leadership is not there and the direction is not there, if the people behind running the company are not clear about what they're doing, it can damage something good. I've seen good companies with a good product, a good value, don't have the proper leadership. And me, myself, I take risks. You know what? But I'm at this point, I built up a nice trust and a nice following with people that trust me because I make good decisions. Now, I'm human and I can make mistakes at the same time, but I choose to make mistakes on my own. I joined a couple of companies that didn't work out at all. But you know what? I didn't go and bring a whole 100, 200, 300 people with me knowing this. You understand? I would go in there myself, figure it out, get dirty, figure out if things look good, and then I say, this looks good. Let's join this. It might be a couple of weeks or something like that. But I go in now because I learned from my mistakes. I joined the company. I had a whole bunch of people join, and the company and the leader took all the money, and he didn't pay the people. And let me tell you something. I got paid in that company a couple of times, and the people that followed me didn't get paid, and it really disturbed me. And because of that, I had to start marketing it. And it's a shame because I had to recover from that. The trust, the following that I started to build, because we all know how tough it is when you first start in to get that trust and get that following, and people want to join you in everything you do. So I was just getting to that point of building a nice following, and then boom, this company screws the people over, and it sucks because I almost lost what I had. Not only money and things, why I had enough money set aside, but the people that trusted me, I almost lost it. I had to recover a little bit because people are like, I don't know, the last thing you said, and I understand. It's tough. So with all that said, I want to educate you guys so that these things don't have to happen, so we don't have to be in these pitfalls, so we don't have to quit our jobs, put our whole life savings into a company, all of a sudden, boom, they're gone. All of a sudden, boom, the CEO decides to take the money and buy an island. Whatever the case is, we don't know. We don't own the company, so we can't control that, but we want to reassure you that we're not here for that. Like I said, so whether you decide to join us or not at the end of the night, whether you're a guest or you're a part of the team, I want you to pay close attention and listen to what we tell you, because we want to educate you on what to look for and how to determine whether you're making the right decision, not only for you, but your family, your kids, the people that look up to you when you come home and say, hey, I made money today. Hey, you know what? I made some money. Let's go on a vacation or something like that. How much does it suck to be on the other side of that coin? Like I just lost my job, or the company just disappeared. All my money's gone. It sucks. So we don't want that to happen to you. So we're here to educate you. And I got Mr. Dwayne, and I'm gonna actually ask him a couple of questions that I had in mind. Dwayne, you hear me?
Loud and clear. I hear you very well.
Awesome, good. So one of the things, as I want to pretend I am new to the company. I want to figure out if this is the right thing for me. What can you tell us about as far as the vision of this company and where we're at now, and where are we going to be in the future 6 months to a year to 2 years, where people are putting their their hearts and souls and their following, whatever the case, they're putting themselves into it. When they're about to make the decision, what can we reassure them on that we are here and for the long run?
Well, two things. The first one is I can definitely give you an idea of the direction where we're headed as a company, but as far as providing assurance and those things, I don't know how well that goes over. Each person has in their mind their history, their experiences, bad and good. And if they've been burned a few times, it doesn't matter what I say, they're going to have to either find it on their own or walk away, because that's the way this industry is. You're not blind. None of the guys in the panel are blind. There's enough stuff going on in the marketplace. And the way I see it, the home business industry is under attack, period. So if there is something that goes wrong with a company, usually it's going to be blown out of proportion a great deal to put the fear of God in people. So if you look over the last decade, whatever's going on right now in the last 6 months isn't new. Every year, thousands of new companies start up, and unfortunately, many of them don't last in the first 45 to 90 days. That's the reality of it all. But some do. If, in fact, a company hiccups, makes a few bad decisions that aren't, deal breakers, unfortunately, they'll be made example of, because we live in a world, the western part of the world, that is heavily on, we spend the first 22 years of an individual's life teaching them to secure a job in the marketplace. And this whole industry is about telling people you can secure an economy that's better than the job market that you've worked 22 years for. So there's a whole lot in this thing. I can only tell you that where we're going as a company is we are putting our all into ensuring that we are the #1 business opportunity that provides online software tools to the entire world. That's where we're headed. And at the same token, we're not just providing for the home business part of the world. We want to be the premier online software company who provides tools to businesses in general. We want to be #1. Our goal is to be #1 in each of these marketplaces no later than December 2015. We're on our way. We're really excited about some new stuff coming out. And I can say this, that a lot of what's wrong with the industry, it looks like it's companies. But the truth is, as individuals, each of us have a role. If you join a company tonight because someone tells you there's nothing to do, all you have to do is pay, you're part of the problem. You want to go and generate an income and commissions for doing nothing. That's not reality. You set yourself up to be taken advantage of, and you make this marketplace, you create a lot of you're part of the problem of the issues we're all experiencing. So a company cannot take and mismanage billions of dollars if people aren't flocking because there's nothing to do. Don't worry about products, don't worry about working, don't worry about signing people up. We do it all for you. Just come in. The more people just are hoping that they put an illusion in front of them, Alfredo, those are the beginning of it. It doesn't matter what company it is. If Ingresso Cibernetico tells people, and I'm telling you this now, whether I'm the CEO or not, if we tell people, just come in, don't worry, everything's going to happen for you, I would run. Go as fast as you can. If we tell you you give $5 a day, guaranteed in 30 days you're going to have 500 back just for being there, run. Go as fast as you can. That's the beginning of the end of this whole market can collapse for home businesses in general, and home business companies will be blocked out of most countries if we don't change this culture now. That's my response to that.
Awesome, good. Now I have a good question. How do we, going forward? All right, here's an example. Here, maybe I come across, I'm on Facebook a lot. I network with a lot of not only regular people, but also like some leaders in other companies and things like that. And I find myself that some people are married to certain companies. And given or not, I feel sometimes the company itself needs to be a little more transparent when you have people who are believing everything you say and it can be a little off, you know, and it should be in the interest of the people because it's the people that are putting their money in and growing the business for you. So how do we make a wise decision when it comes to, like, for example, there was a company that I was in, and man, if I was to continue to be, I could say, brainwashed into believing that I was going to change my life, I would have fooled myself. I had to kick the habit, had to snap myself out of it, and realize, listen, the company is just not for me. No matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody believes, no matter what, you know, hypnotist I'm under, listen, the company is not for me. It's not for the people. I'm not rocking with it. Some people have a hard time doing that and realizing the truth, even when you tell them that, listen, it may not just be for you, buddy. Why don't you, you know, find something that you can call your home? Why don't you discover something that works for you and your people and your family, and stop believing in something that's probably not there? How do you justify, how do you determine that it's a tough call when people are married to something, but they're being fooled in thinking that they're the other people that are making it happen when they have to look at themselves to make that decision?
Yeah, but you know, there's something to consider here, and you know, your points are well taken. But you know, this whole industry is based on hope, and people who have, you know, no matter what job they've ever had, they've been fired at every one, or they just can't get over $15 an hour. Everybody has their own reasons, and they finally get to a company, and that company offers them that hope, even though it's far off, even though there's some things going on that may be questionable. When you really are reaching for that one chance you've got, it's hard to see some things. So I can identify with anyone who doesn't have the witty, the quick ability to make a decision like you can. You probably have arrived at that conclusion faster. What I can say, no matter who you are, whatever company you look at, you've got to take your own litmus test. What is the litmus test to be sure that you can at least protect your family when you have all this hope and the illusion of, oh gosh, grandeur, it's coming my way, the euphoria of one day I can finally be financially free. I think each individual has got to be responsible to take their own litmus test. Is the hope that I have, is this company okay? Okay, how do I put this? Are they willing to tell me what's best for me even if I'm willing not to join? That's a good litmus test. If you ask a challenging question, will they just tell you what you want to hear and get you to join, or are they willing to tell you, no, we don't do it that way, so you're probably better move on? When a company does that, it's a good sign. If a company has something in place and they're willing to tell you what you need to hear, opposite of what they already state is their truth, that's a good litmus test. One of my favorite litmus tests is, you know, what happens if I can't recruit? Can I still have a residual income? You and I both know everyone's not going to be a recruiter, man. Some people can just join and they want to be a part of earning some sort of a residual income. A great litmus test is, if a company can provide a way for me, what if I'm not a recruiter, but I can put some systems in place that can sell some things? So another good look is, like, for example, we don't consider certain places. How many of you out there recognize that Walmart has a huge affiliate base where people are just affiliates for them and they market their products? Best Buy. You know, before I was ever an affiliate in the home business industry, I was affiliate for Target, I was affiliate for Expedia, an affiliate for Walmart, an affiliate for all these different companies, and I had no problem putting together like what do they call these things for weddings? When you have that, they go online, they can order products for the person.
Like a registry?
Yeah, registry.
Yeah.
I've been like one of the top GoDaddy resellers for probably 8 years. They're not considered home business. They're not considered negative because people can do well if they can't recruit. A great litmus test is, what happens if people can't recruit? Where does the company go financially? So a great look would be, what do they have if I can't recruit? I'm proud to say that if another person doesn't join Ingresso Cybernetico, it doesn't break the bow. We still move on. We have many of our products, people are selling them, and they're getting 100%. We also sell our products to companies. We sell them to individuals and small businesses. But it's not about Ingresso. It's bigger than Ingresso. Many companies do this. Many companies that are under the fire aren't guilty of anything. Many of them aren't. Let's be real about it. Many of them are. Many of them are. What happens financially to a company if, in fact, the wind blows hard? So if there are no sales that come in, no one joins, is there still money coming in? That's a good look. But the other look is what happens if, in fact, let's say 2 of our main products is no longer valid. The marketplace no longer needs it because it's offered free everywhere else. What have they got? So another strength is check out what we call the portfolio and or the pipeline. Look at a company's portfolio of products. If their top 2 best products are gone, do they have anything? That's important. So there's a lot of things to look at, but like you're saying, Alfredo, most people are looking at their own hope, not the company. They're not looking at the integrity of the company. Rarely are they looking at what is the financial strength of this company. So as a result, by the time they're in and want to look, it's too late. They want to look when their commission is 3 months late. Now they want to start looking, hey, something's funny. I should start looking at this. So what I would encourage everyone to do, take a look before you join. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. No one's feelings are going to be hurt. Because I'll tell you, if Ingresso Cybernetico is not right for you, don't join it. Be smart. In fact, we encourage our people, if you can have more than one company, do it. We provide tools for companies. So if you want to use our tools and join 7 other companies, do it. Just be smart and build a foundation for you and your family. I know you didn't want me to take that long. I didn't mean to take so long in that answer. But this is critical stuff, man. The average person looks long after the disaster happened.
Nice. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me? Okay. Can you see me or no?
No picture. Just your pictures there. But no
all right.
video.
No, my laptop overheated and it shut off, so I had to jump on my phone right away.
Oh, okay. Your
yeah.
laptop's making so much money that it
I
burned
know.
out.
Yeah. This.
It
Let me tell you
overheated.
something. It's the same laptop that I started my online business with.
Wow.
I paid.
Upgrade time.
I know. I paid $600 for it
Mhm.
in Best Buy, and to this day, it's still generating a 6-figure income. So yeah, maybe it's time to upgrade and get something that won't overheat and shut off. But yeah, it's done its work, and I'm proud of it.
You won just about everything at the Vegas event. You didn't win a laptop?
No, I did, and I gave it to my stepdaughter for school.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well, don't take hers. Go out and upgrade, man.
Why not me?
Miami, but I wouldn't do that.
you just beat me to it already. No, I'm gonna go buy one. There's no problem. So yeah, that was good. I missed part of it, but I understood. I got the beginning and the end. So
Okay.
I guess, like I said, the whole point of this hangout, the conversation, is that it's tough because as people making decisions to join opportunities with all the fear that they have, like before, it was based on, all right, the commission looks good, or the products look good, or they have like a killer sales page or whatever. But now it's like, man, I don't know, is the company going to be around? Like, with all these things going on, and some people are not educated. And people are like, well, Ingresso Cybernetico has a cycler program. They're not known to last long. So some people are not educated. They number one, they think it's just a cycler. Number two, they're in they have this fear of cyclists because they see that some of them don't have this long-term thing. I want to explain to people that are watching, because it's also my team that I invited, how to talk to people and educate them and let them know, be confident that they're making a wise decision if they join. And like you said, Ingresso's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but anybody can do it. And
Well said.
it's understood. And sometimes we have to be upfront when people say, listen, this might not be something that might fit you, but I guess I think you're talking about multiple opportunities. If you have, I call it a Rolodex of opportunities. I join opportunities because I like to be able to offer somebody something that might fit them a little better. This
Sure.
goes into the part of being truthful to the person. Like, listen, this might not work out for you, but I have something else that probably fits your, what you're looking for a little bit better. It might fit your area. Maybe you're an offline person. Maybe this might work out. If you're just a strictly offline person, don't turn on a computer, I don't think selling internet marketing tools would be your thing.
Right.
So we have to understand that and educate the people. But I want to there's another question I want to touch up on. And if anybody else has, Tom, do you have any good questions? You have some excellent questions.
I have a good answer for something that wasn't asked. If they don't,
Okay.
So I'll wait till after to see what Tom has. But I gotta touch on this thing of this last question you raised without asking it. So, but let's see what Tom has first, and I'll come back to that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same wavelength as everybody else. Basically, I've joined 2x2s before in the past, and they haven't lasted for some sort of reason. So I mean, I guess we're going into that subject anyway. So might as well take it away, Dwayne.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Nice segue. Thank you, Tom. All right. So here's the thing. When it comes to a 2x2, for the most part, as a standalone, they're what we call disposable. It's a disposable company plan. It's not that it's not meant to last. It's just not mathematically possible to last if that's all there is. So there's got to be a marriage, like with the addition of some sort of a residual component and other means of income. Now, here's why I say that. I have been the consultant for many of the 2x2s, and one of the reasons I wanted to start my own company is because no one would do that. It was very annoying. They were so happy at all the money that they made, they would not add the catalyst that is necessary for its success. As a person that loves mathematics and I love patterns, I don't like things that are short-ended. So one of the things I noticed is most company owners have always been satisfied because they were getting what they needed. But as a leader, building a huge organization, if you have a 2x2 only and without the accompaniment additives to the compensation, it's going to be short-lived. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you can tie in a way for people to get those incomes, you got it made. But here's where companies have gone wrong. By the time they agreed to do it right, it's too late. You can't start without a residual pay-in and all of a sudden add it. You can't do that. You can't make that mistake. You can't say it's nothing down out of your pocket, nothing ever. You never have to pay monthly, just pay one time. If you do that, remember this principle when it comes to a 2x2. There is no residual income without a residual payout, which means if you want to get paid residually, you and everyone in the organization would be required to pay residually. Any company that tells you the opposite, unfortunately, I think it's an innocent non-truth in some cases, because a lot of people that start companies don't have a strong business background, or they used to be a top leader, but they never went and got the foundation to understand how these things work. So they started innocently promising everything because they think it's going to last forever. And if you know anything about the second law of thermodynamics, entropy, things are naturally in disorder, and they will stop. They can't work without catalysts. So, that being said, I knew for a number of years that the true solution for having a 2x2 last more than a year or a year and a half, whatever they normally last, would be to make sure the program's bigger than the 2x2. The 2x2 can be one piece. Here's where the marketplace goes wrong. The average person who gets started in a business will never look at much more than the company offers, so all that they market in their email campaigns, pay-per-click, YouTube, in this case Facebook or MySpace, the only thing they talk about is the 2x2. Therefore, they have a very limited and unfortunately skewed marketing campaign, and which makes people come up with it, hey man, it's a 2x2, oh my gosh, right? And it doesn't have to go there, because it could start with, I have a complete I have a full business model. This supplier gives me multiple ways of earning money. I get fast start. I get car bonus. I also have this residual amount that I can show every few hours where I'm making more money every few hours when I refresh in my back office and my dashboard. And we even have a 2x2. We get that money too. But the problem is it's one-dimensional. It's incomplete. And someone who knows their business will hear the incomplete part that some of you are messaging. When I say some of you, I'm talking to our listeners. All they hear is, hey, come see how I flip boards and earn this amount. And that's all they see. What happens is they don't understand. They say, oh, it's a 2x2. We know you made $4,500. We know where it's going, because they're never properly introduced to the full picture. It's like you got this cute girl. Oh, my goodness, she's amazing. She's the most beautiful eyes. Right? And somebody has a bad experience. They met a girl with beautiful eyes and nothing else before, right? She has no brains, she's got no common sense, she's mean, she's rude, and she's not even attractive. So what happens? Oh, beautiful eyes, I heard it before. I'm not going, and doesn't have to happen. So when I say we, I mean all of us have to take full responsibility in the perceptions that are out there about companies that are falling. You do the math on this. A few years ago, we had a company that was a penny auction company that ended up with over 1.3 million subscribers, or over 700,000 subscribers, and still fell by the wayside because of this. Everybody marketing it had a perception. They themselves had a perception of something for nothing. It wasn't mathematically possible. And there's things like this. And with these illusions that are going on in bad marketing, we together, you guys on the panel, and all the people you reach, they can hear it the right way and do it the right way, because it's bigger than Ingresso Supernatural. I'm happy to be here, no doubt. And I believe we're going to be here. But beyond that, even if someone doesn't believe that, that's fine. Follow the principles, because it'll take you further than Ingresso. It'll take you to your long-term, consistent income and a better industry for all of us.
Awesome.
Done.
Awesome, man. Listen, it's true, because if there's a day where I don't cycle or close a board, my unilevel residual is paying me, so I'm happy with that. And that's something, like I said, we have 7, 8 ways to get paid, so why don't we utilize all of them? I was just telling Mike not to go after me in a contest, because I'm going to beat him. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's going to give me a run. He's a good guy. But, if you think about it, all the contest money adds up too. If I made, let's say, 10,000, 15,000 in cycling, I probably made another 5, 6 by winning contests. So there are multiple. Let's not go with car bonuses. Forget about that. That's a whole different category by itself. But if we add it up, that's probably a good about 25, 30% of my income as well. So we have other avenues of getting paid. We have other ways. Let's market the whole company the way it's supposed to, and let's take advantage of all these other ways. Maybe we're not good cyclists, but we're good contest winners. That's a pretty good income right there. I mean, hey, if you win one contest a month, that's $2,000-3,000. That's a pretty month salary right there. Some people don't even make that by working every single day. Like working hard, trying to recruit and flip this and do that. They don't even make that much. You win one contest, you just made your whole month's pay. I mean, here's
what I call the sleeper, Alfredo. The sleeper is the affiliate marketing. And this is where, in my family, where we build our wealth. I mean, I've done MLM. I've built the teams, but sometimes I like people. But sometimes you've got people that are honest. Dude, I love the business, but I don't like dealing with people. I don't want to manage people and deal with people crying and whining. We got something for you, man. Think about this. If I sold, let's say I went to the Spanish-speaking centers in my region. That's all I did. I don't want to deal with people, so I'll go there and I will show them how I can open up for their center to take our class and provide it for their peeps. $200. I sell 10 of them. I made over $2,000 this week, right? But it gets better. But I also, like me, I gotta be honest, I get paid for multiple autoresponders, not just the one we own. Because years ago, before I ever created one, I'm an affiliate, a master affiliate. I create fortunes because once you put something out there that sells for you, it's always out there. And the idea is you're an okay entrepreneur if you have a pathway of income coming. But when you can create multiples, my gosh, what happens, Alfredo, if it takes you 6 months to get 100 people paying you $69 a month for IC lead pages? What are you making? $6,900 a month from now on. Because you get 100% of it. That's a model. That's what's wrong with the whole, oh, come watch me flip a board. It's limited. And if that's the way anybody markets, trust me, you might get to $10,000 or $15,000 a month, but it ain't going where you want it to go because it's a big picture, man. So it's like I'm a daddy because my girlfriend's expecting. No, you're not. You might be a father, a biological father, but there's more to being a daddy than that. Right, guys? You get what I'm saying? So It's go the whole way. We'll be more educated on ESPN about Sterling and the Clippers. We'll be educated on the new guy picked up by the Rams, who was the first person for the first NFL team to pick up someone who has who's openly gay. We'll be educated on everything. We'll know the new engine's going to be a new car. When it comes to our business, only thing we'll do is what little bit we know, we'll market that for a year, rather than making sure we're learning all of it so we can market all of it and become the best. I fight daily to find out how to be the best, and if I can't be the best in it, I don't want to get it if I can't fight for that. So this idea of mediocrity is one of the things going to help change the culture of the industry if we can get people who will fight for their business like they fight for the stuff that has no meaning. I mean, really. If I get 22s on my car or I keep the original stock rims, that's okay, but that means zero at the end of the day. What really means something is, can I make sure if I die in a plane crash on Friday when I leave for Pennsylvania, can I create a opportunity for my children's children? Am I selfish enough that I can only build up my wealth for me? Or can I build it so long after I'm gone, there's something here that not just my own children, but their children can live from it? Because that's what the home business can do, home business industry can do for anyone who's committed. Here's the rhetorical question, Alfredo, Tom, and Michael. I mean, ask your people, how many of you committed? Not in words, committed, where you're willing to put a finger on the girl. I mean, a ring on the girl. You're going to put a ring on the business. A ring that says, I'm willing to wake up every day and look at her. Every day from now on, I'm willing to have her bear my children and be with her. Is this the kind of business we're talking about? The kind of business that says, listen, if it comes down to it, I will walk through the desert. I will swim several channels in the ocean to make sure I can take care of her. Is this the kind of business we have? Because you know what? The reason you guys can enjoy IC today is because I determined to commit one day to do that. You're not here because I've had an idea one day. Wow. No, I fight. And I encourage you guys to fight because what's offered is so much better than $40,000 or $50,000 a month. I swear to you, what you have in this industry can provide for your offspring that you will never meet. Are you ready for that? That's the question. Sorry, I get a little caught up. Don't mean to get too caught up. I think it's Tom's hat.
Amen.
Yeah.
Nah, it's great, man. And one thing that really stuck out with you and this company is the fact that I'm not blinded. I do my best to look things very, very thorough. Like I said, I am human. I can make a misjudgment or a mistake. I mean, it happens. But one thing that stood out is the fact that you were a consultant for many years. So, with that said, not only do you know how to run a company, but now when you go ahead and use what you told other people to run your own, I have confidence, because a lot of people, I used to own a brick and mortar business, so I understand that you can't just buy the property and put people in place and expect it to run. You really, really have to understand the principles of the business and the math. Like we said, the math has to add up. How much do I spend on my merchandise, whatever, and how much is coming back? Simple, because that's what's going to pay my bills and keep me going. So I understand that. So when I look at things ahead, I say, all right, Mr. Dwayne, not only is he very transparent and, invited me to Florida to meet with him, that means this guy is not hiding behind a computer. You can reach him. I have his phone number and things like that, but you know what you're doing because you had managed other businesses. So you know the mistakes, you know the goods, the bads, the ins and outs, and the math. So that makes me confident. And for the people that are watching and listening, you got to understand that the leadership plays a big role. You can have these people come in and give this company everything they can imagine, but the leadership ain't there. And next thing you know, a year or so later, the company is falling down, and there's nothing they could do about it because they're missing the principles of leadership.
Alfredo, being a consultant's not enough, so I don't want to take credit for something that may not be there, but I will say this. One of the most common element I've seen in companies and their longevity, many people are mostly looking only at products and only finances and not the ownership. And it's important to look at the ownership because you can have, there are some companies that have great products and had the revenue and they still can't buy a sale, they just can't get there. So we know there are companies that are horrible. They're not, the finances are bad and the products are only okay, but yet they still can sell. They will go through the roof with getting new people. So I want to make sure that part of the illusion is gone. Here's the thing, a great thing to look at. And this is, as a consultant, this is heartbreaking for me because when you meet, as a consultant, I get to start with a lot of the companies before they're big. And then when they get big, you watch things change. So watch how this works. You get with an owner or a group of owners who have never seen $1 million in their account, business or personal. And they're used to seeing a certain number, let's say about 50 or 100,000, and you tell them, if they keep that same $100,000 bank in my bank account mentality and they go to manage millions, unfortunately will be sabotaged. There's a requirement for all of us as owners, not just me and my business partners, but any owners out there in any company. We have a responsibility to raise our level of business acumen, our prudency in managing not just the revenue, but the people and the systems at the level where we're going, not from where we've been. And the mistake any of us can make is trying to manage our future business that will have, let's say, a couple 100,000 people in it, and hundreds of millions of dollars with a $100,000 mentality. So here's where the thing begins to spiral out of control. When that growth and personal development isn't there for us as owners, we have to grow. I still have to constantly get trained. I have to constantly grow my ability to do things, and so do my business partners. I have to go to seminars. I have to, I'm a library nut. I am a reader. If you don't know anything about me, you'll know that I'm a history nut. I love to read, and I have to, daily grow in my areas or I will fail you, and I still could fail you. So one of the areas that people don't look at, they get illusioned by whoever the person is. Oh my gosh, it's so-and-so. And I don't want anybody to ever do that with me. I want to shake your hand, hug you, and talk to you. I don't want you ever, to be like Jackie Onassis and only wave at people from the corner. I want to say, what's up, man? What's going on? Let's go to the dance floor. But the reality is personal development, because good people can fall. Don't think that owner who has a company that goes out of business is a bad person. They unfortunately may have had things happen before they were prepared, but it certainly doesn't make them evil. And nor does a company who's under attack necessarily mean that they're intentionally doing something wrong. It may be that they made some decisions and jumped in over their head, and now they're trying to get things together. So please don't be quick to crucify and nail anybody to the cross, folks. Get this down. We have to grow. And you guys as leaders, if your incomes are going to quadruple or anything, your level of ability to manage all that will have to grow. If it doesn't happen, trust me, it's all short-lived. Okay, no more. Tom, that hat's killing me.
No, I understand where you're coming from. It takes a real big discipline.
Yeah.
It takes discipline because when you're used to seeing, a few $1,000s and then it turns into 10, 20, 30, and 50, and 100 a month, you really have to change. You have to grow with it. Your mind has to grow with the money.
Yes.
So you know exactly how to accept it and do something with it. It's almost scary. It's like, Jesus, you know, I mean, I'm telling you from personal experience, it's almost a little scary when you see the different levels of money coming in that you're not used to.
And what happens, by the way, Alfredo, that money will all of a sudden, even though it didn't get to your bank account yet, it'll start getting assignments. If you're not prepared yourself mentally, and you say, oh shoot, I've got a $60,000 income coming next week. Next thing you know, before the money ever arrives in your account, there will automatic, if you're not disciplined, that's why I gave the webinar on the budgeting. I don't know if you guys, any of you guys saw that. It's so important that how in the world can I manage a company if I'm not going to budget my own weekly income that comes in? If I'm not going to budget my little bit of money, I'm going to be irresponsible when the millions comes in. And what you guys got to see is when that money comes in, Uncle Jerry called, his wife has tonsillitis, she needs a special surgery, and his insurance lapsed, she's going to need it. You're also going to have that certain motorcycle you've been looking at for months when you were a child, it pops up. And then, I'm just telling you, all of a sudden, you find out your kid who's in college no longer wants to go to that school. He wants to go to Princeton now because he knows daddy's got money. All of a sudden, that money is assigned and no longer, unfortunately, is being managed. Instead, it's managing you guys, and you become like the lottery winners who get it and lose it. That's the importance of this development thing. And it's the discipline, like you said, necessary. We have to. And certainly, not just we as owners, but the members have to do the same thing, because if members don't do it, that also can cause the company to collapse. You know, I mean, you guys know, you get the money. Am I wrong? Does it not all of a sudden it starts getting assignments? Now all of a sudden, oh crap, they need the money because we're adding one to the house. All of a sudden you got writing checks left and right, more than you did when you had less.
Yeah.
Unless you budget. So anyway, enough of that. No tangents.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm getting a motorcycle.
Gold wing.
Gold wing. I'm getting a furry.
Furry helmet.
Yeah, man. It takes a big discipline. I'll tell you, coming from it wasn't too long ago that I was broke. I didn't have no money, but at the same time, I was preparing myself mentally to get it. I wasn't saying I wasn't going to get it. I was preparing myself. I said, I don't have it now, but I'm going to get it. And when I get it, some of the things we're going to do, I'm doing. As in, I was going to give back to charity. I always said, when I have money, I want to give back to charity, because that's one of my things. I just feel good about it. It feels good to give back to people who need it. I was going to fix my credit. My credit was shot for many, 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 many years. I mean, they'll laugh at me if I try to, apply for something. I'm finally getting to that point where I have good credit now, because I'm able to have money to take care of some of my debts that I owed for a long time and manage it. So these are things that I had, but these are good things that I wrote 2 years ago on a small note paper saying, when I have the money, these are the things I'm going to take care of. Putting my kids into a better school, getting them into a better neighborhood so they can go to a better school. These were all prearranged when I get the money. So I was preparing myself to get it. I just didn't know when. So now I got to discipline myself to a higher level. Now what happens when the millions start coming in? So I can imagine from a person and from an owner standpoint how that can really, I mean, we don't know because we're affiliates, we're regular people, but damn, you own a company, all of a sudden millions come in. How disciplined you have to be not to take it and do something with it, and to do what you originally said you were going to do, so that way the company could sustain. And I believe that maybe some of the problems that are happening with these companies is that they're seeing all this money, they're not used to it, the owners, the people that come out, and they're mismanaging it. And of course, they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell us. They're going to make it look nice, but they're not going to tell us, the truth is we went and bought some jets. Sorry. It's tough, man, but we're the ones that suffer.
You know what? I have a policy that I use, and I do it because you just don't know, right? My mom used to say, you better say Joe because you sure don't know. And here's one of those cases where I believe that I think it was Stephen Covey said this in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, or Principle-Centered Leadership, I think it was. He says, seek first to understand and then to be understood. So in these cases, I say just seek to understand. Do your own homework. If you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, we can't know what any of these owners are doing, because remember, the industry's under attack. And there's a lot of stuff. I mean, whenever there's a change of administration with different elections, locally and government-wise, sometimes our industry is unfortunately a sitting duck, so we can be made example of to get recognition. So that's just the reality behind it. And the other side is, you already mentioned how difficult it is when money's coming in. Sometimes it's not that you mismanage it, sometimes you just were never prepared and never taught how to do it a certain way. So now, because let's say you did something magical and all of a sudden you have maybe $178 million at your fingertips. So now all of a sudden you're looking at new product lines, you're going to build new, let's say you're going to build a new building or so, different manufacturing plant. Before you know it, you didn't do anything wrong, you're just trying to manage your company. And now maybe let's say one of your products is you're having a little difficulty with, you got to pay some fees to get something enhanced to it. And then sales are doing okay, but they never really took off the way you wanted. If, in fact, you started spending the money before you managed it, sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's not even the Learjet. It's just the part I mentioned to you guys earlier, and I've seen this from the beginning to the end with many companies and many company owners. This thing is real. If you're used to managing your bank account, what happens if we start sticking in your account every month $1.7 million, right? You're not ready for that unless you know in advance. And so what I do as a consultant, I've done this for years, I have told the owners, you've got to now, where do you think you're going? You've got to start putting yourself in position to manage 10 times that. Because in this industry, unlike any other industry, you know, the average business to get started takes 3 to 5 years just to break even. This is an industry where you can start off in the first month and your company is a multi-million-dollar business in the first month. So it's a huge responsibility. So I'm going to tell each of you guys, keep your eyes open. Don't throw any stones, because sometimes things happen so fast. You know, I don't have a daughter, but I wouldn't be all over if all she did was go to the prom and things happen so fast. Next thing you know, she's walking home because some guy was all over her. Because life is that way. Things happen fast, and you weren't even expecting it. All I can say is I would prepare my daughter. If these 5 things happen, here's where you respond. But if they don't know, we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And in a lot of cases, and my heart's broken because we all heard of what's going on in the industry. There's been at least 6 or 7 companies over the last 4 or 5 months who are under the grid, under the gun for one thing or another, just with publicity. If it's right or wrong or true or false, it's there. And the best thing we can do to protect ourselves is to educate ourselves and be prepared. You can't be prepared for everything, but certainly you can be prepared for better than what you expect to happen. So when we try to do it in Ingreso, we're not trying to manage the company and build it to sustain where we are. Not at all. We're working hard to make sure that as we're number 1 in 2015, that we have the capacity to manage it, not just financially. That's why it's important for us to build our own products and own them. We don't want to be in debt. We don't want people coming back and saying, oh my gosh, these guys they have all this money. They don't. No, we want to own our stuff. We don't want to mess around. We'd rather invest the money and not buy new cars and new castles and new Lear jets. We're doing that on purpose. And so what I can tell you guys is the best protection from you from this company or any other company, first of all, you manage your money. You manage your money, and you can have a better idea what an owner's doing. But if you're not managing your money, trust me, you might not see it coming when a company goes through something. You might be one of those people that says, oh, it's not true, right? And then all of a sudden, all your money's locked up and frozen. You can't get to it. Or you might be one of those people that says, oh my gosh, it's horrible. And you crucify the company when they're not even wrong, only to find out you left, only to find out they were wrong and things are going high and you lost your whole organization. If you don't educate yourself, you're not prepared. All of you listeners out there, prepare yourself. By the way, this is a plug. I have in the back office, for those of you that are part of Ingresso, I have a residual foundation, a financial foundation in there, part 1 and part 2. Part 2, I show you how to create and build your own budget. And I have a downloadable budget in the back office. It's simple. It's not extravagant. It's something so you can start now. So that's my encouragement and my plug. You guys are the best. I love answering these kind of questions because they need to be asked. So thank you.
Yeah, exactly. That was the point. I said we're not going to sell. We just want to educate. So if people decide to join, I'm going to give you good reasons why you should, because of everything we just talked about.
Yeah.
This is not about just join here and 2 weeks from now you're going to make a few $100, few $1,000. We got people that are having kids right now. There are people that are about to lose their jobs. They're home. They need a way out. They need to know that there is hope, that there is something out there for them that is legitimate, honest, respectful, and I don't see any hangouts like this where we're talking about everything that we just talked about. I don't see it going on. And that was my purpose of having it, because we need to, with all the ugly stuff that's going on, especially, Facebook, talking about it with certain companies that are, I don't know, everything from A to Z is going on. These companies are shutting down. You got the Ponzi's, you got people in debt, you got all these things. People don't know what to do. So like I said, I just want to leave you with the education to understand, number one, how to identify these certain things and not be fooled, and understand that, you may be in jeopardy with certain companies if you don't do something about it. If you're uneducated, you won't know better. You'll hang around. But it's not only you. It's you, your family, your following, all the 100, 200, 300 people you brought with you to join.
Hey, Alfredo.
Yeah.
They're in danger with any company, even this one, if they're not going to be educated. And
exactly.
3 warnings I want to give. The first one is, if someone tells you just join and there's nothing to do except join, run. Because it's not business anymore. It's the lottery. And you already know the odds. Right? Number 2, when someone tells you that they'll do it all for you, you have nothing to do because they're going to do it for you, run again. Because you'll find out that after you get in, that wasn't true either. The third one is, if it's only about investing and there really is no product, is it a business without a product? And if it's an investment, is it mathematically possible for me to put in this much and get this much back when literally there is no viable product? What happens in those cases is the math can't work. If you have this much coming in, it is mathematically possible to get this much back over a long period of time because it will catch up. And that's where we come up with the big words such as in the red, the word deficit, in the hole, all those things pop up then. So run with this company. So I'm going to tell you, I mean, this may make some of my leaders mad. If a leader's telling you come in because they have that it's a team build, there's nothing to do because we do it all, run. It's not real math. It can't work. Now, I already warned you that we're okay if no one ever joins. We're okay. We're not here to only be a home business. We're providing something to the world, to the marketplace. So trust me, you have every reason to believe that, because that means we're not trying to say things to get you to join. We're just telling you flat out, know the warning signs. Stop being illusioned just because your mortgage is due and you're 3 months behind, so you listen to anything anyone says. If it doesn't sound right, check it out or go the other way. That's it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take over there. Alfred, you were wrong. I didn't mean to do that.
A lot of people are they're so quick to jump. You don't have to do nothing. What do you mean I don't do nothing? You don't just join, $10, 10 minutes a day, and you watch your account fill up. Well, where is the money coming from? Has anybody stopped to ask where is the money coming from? If I don't have to do anything and nobody else is doing anything, where is the revenue come from? How is this mathematically possible? It happens. And from the bigger people, even that I would trust, they're still out there doing these things because I don't know. I don't know what gives. I don't know what gives. I tell my people, don't fall for the push button stuff, please. If somebody says just join and you don't have to do anything, you push a button and tomorrow you're double your money, please don't do it. Please don't. It's
double or nothing.
Yeah, it's not. Where is the money coming from?
It didn't work for me at the blackjack tables either.
Roulette tables, right?
Yeah, from a casino, man, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. If you come into Espresso, be prepared to work because it's work. Any business takes work. Period. Just
But
figure out how
there
to
are
make it
rewards.
work.
There are rewards.
Exactly. If you work and you're willing to do what we say, you will have some rewards. You will make some money. You will change your life. But
Big
don't
time.
come in here thinking there's nothing. There's always something to do. All right, and at least take the education that we offer. As businessmen. So I'm done with questions, man. Anybody else have any questions before we? Because we're at the top of the hour. Before we hang this up.
I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say, for me personally, I had a good business before I came over here. It was a 6-year-old company, more of a direct sales model, and and I was making good money in it. And I kind of got into Ingresso because I was looking for something to put the people that say no to that other program in, because it was a high ticket. So I really, without knowing anything about Ingresso, got into it, just threw some money at it based on what some friends were doing, and and I shared it with a few people, and got a check basically, my first 24 hours. Not that that happens to everybody, but it caught my attention. I got a check, and I was like, whoa. But my problem was, like what Tom said, is initially my first look at it, and the way it was explained to me at first was they used the words like cycler words.
Yeah.
And I hated that, and I swore all cyclers off. Said no way, But I got into this, based on what they said, and I started making some money, and I dug into it. In my first week I did really well, had a really big day, and it really got my attention. So I dug in and saw that there was a lot of different ways that you get paid. That the cycling was just like a little teeny piece of the whole puzzle, and and the fact that other people were making money as well is what really caught my attention. So to make a long story short, within about 30 days, I had so many things happen with this company, with the money coming in, people under me making money, the leadership, after doing my due diligence, all this stuff, I stopped that other business and made this one my primary. That's how confident I am in this company, and I was with that company for 2 years. I still kind of have it sitting there. If people call me, I deal with it, but I don't market it, and do anything in it anymore because of how confident I am in this company and how much fun I'm having. I've never, ever in my life had more fun building a business than I've had with Ingresso.
Awesome.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, I feel you.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, just like Michael said himself, like he was, he'd been involved in other cyclers before, and I had seen what Michael was doing on Facebook, and I was like, oh, it's one of those cycler things. But then I really dove down deep to really what Ingresso was, and I saw actually a very viable product that can actually help thousands of different companies out there that need help. And there's thousands of network marketing MLM companies that need capture pages because none of them are capturing leads, none of them market online, and they need something like autoresponders that are built in. And I also saw the way that the company was treating their members. And I saw just like how Dwayne has all the good incentives that helps other people want to stay with the company, because that's the biggest reason why people quit a company, because they did a poll on about 10,000 people in the industry, and they said, well, what was the biggest reason, the number one biggest reason why you stayed with the company? And the number one reason was recognition. That was the number one reason why they stayed. And the number 5 reason was the money. And it's a funny thing because there was and I saw all those elements that Dwayne was already doing. I don't know if he just subconsciously already knew that was the way it was supposed to be, but and that's, I saw those elements in there, and then plus a product that everybody needed in the marketplace. So that's why I decided to definitely go full blown out with this as well.
Well, you guys are doing a great thing here with your team and providing these hangouts. I thank you for the invitation to be here, and I invite you guys to be with me on Wednesday night. I'm going to be doing a leadership webinar, which is important, which will be, I think, will be helpful for your organizations. But thank you so much. I'm glad that these questions are asked. I mean, rarely are these kind of questions asked because everyone's fear of tiptoeing I just think it's important to address them, you know, and so glad we could. So thank you,
Awesome.
Alfredo. Thank you, man. You did the Oprah Larry King thing and put me against the wall here.
I had to, man. It's just getting ugly, and I have a big team, and I want to help them make better decisions and be more educated when they talk to these people that are having these issues with certain companies that they're in.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why, because I want them to really listen with all ears and say, okay, listen, now I understand why this and that and this and that. I got a better understanding because, you know, this webinar we were able to educate the people and understand. So please, you know, I mean, the last thing I'm gonna leave with, man, just don't believe everything you hear. You really have to go deep into like what's really going on, because your future's at risk, man. You, your kids, everything you live for is at risk. I've seen people come and lose it all. I've seen people come and it's just sad. It's sad. And then they're scared to join the next thing. You have something good right here, but people are scared because, oh my God, it's a cycler, and the last one I did, I lost all my money, or the companies went down, or the CEO just left the freaking, Mexico and his ID. Listen, man, we are not here for that. So I really want to be confident.